Hello and welcome back to Strongman High's Life is a Mishmash. Today we have a very special guest who is fresh from the Arnold Strong Woman 2026. It's Hannah Fitzgerald, or as some of you may know her, under 57 kilo Chump. Welcome to the show, Hannah.
Thank you very much for having me. It's really nice to be on. I listen all the time, so it's special.
Hell yeah, long time fan, let's go. So, do you want to give a brief introduction, elevator pitch to who you are, what you're all about for people on the pod?
I can do, yeah, of course. So I am Hannah, or as some of you know me as U57kg Chump. I am a strength athlete. I compete actually not only in Strongman, but I also compete in weightlifting and powerlifting. I'm a masters athlete, although usually in Strongman I don't compete in the masters class because I'm also a lightweight, obviously being under 57 kilos. I work in the business. I coach Strongman, I coach weightlifting, work as a PT, and I have, I don't know, does this go on YouTube? I was going to show everyone my studio. Yeah, you can see.
Show us
and
the
I have,
studio.
this is the day job. This is my studio. You can kind of see I teach reformer Pilates.
Nice.
Here we
Amazing. And a mum as well. And just the most busiest person on the planet by the looks of it, to be honest.
Yes, I have two amazing children who are both incredibly sporty as well. One is a swimmer, which means that we're at swim club 5-6 nights a week. And the other one is a footballer I feel like that's every day as well. And I do it. I was just talking to someone actually, I have a lot of little sideline businesses, lots of little other things that I do. So
nice.
Busy is a good word, but if you want something done, ask a busy person, right?
Hell yeah, absolutely, 100%. I'm well up for that because I'm exactly the same way. You just need to get shit done, don't you? If you're busy and stuff, can't leave it till tomorrow. It has to be done today. Like, just get it over and done with right now. No, well on board with that. Right. Well, do you want to I actually want to know how you first got into the sport, because I feel like this is going to be interesting because, like, you do so many different things within the sport of just strength in general. How did you get into Strongwoman?
So I got into Strongwoman through a bet, basically. After I had my youngest son, Jack, I'd moved up to Cambridge from London, had started going to CrossFit. And then I found that I was basically only really going to CrossFit for the barbell classes. And so I changed gyms and I started training with Adam, who is still my coach at Nova Performance. And started really to learn how to be a weightlifter. Like, I'd always done kind of gym-based stuff, but actually, to do some proper weightlifting. So off the back of that, I did a couple of weightlifting competitions just in the gym, nothing serious, and did all right. In fact, kind of like won the gym competition. And then a few weeks later, he was like, "Oh, Hannah, I need a favor. Would you go to this other local gym and do a powerlifting meet for me? Because I've offered to lend them some kit and they sent a few athletes to the last weightlifting comp that we did. Would you go and do that?" So I was like, yeah, I'm free. That's fine. I'll go and do that. So I did this powerlifting competition and I won that as well, which is pretty good. And then so I come back into Nova and I'm just training at the gym. And we used to have Matthew Neese, who is a fairly decent under 80s athlete. He's won a few trophies in his time as well. He used to be a coach at our gym. And he was like, Han, you got to make it a hat trick, do a strong women competition. And I was like, yeah, whatever. If you find me one, then I'll do it. Yeah. And so he did. So 6 weeks later, we were off to the showground in Peterborough to do a strong women competition run by Chaos. And that was my very first strong women competition. I did actually, it's the only competition I've ever done as a masters athlete. But I won that as well. So then after that, I was like, oh my God, I love this. And I was hooked.
Hell yeah. I love that. Have you always been sporty then your whole life? You must have been.
Yes, I would say I've always been sporty. Yeah.
Nice.
So I played like standard, like school, netball, hockey. I played football. I used to dance when I was a kid and do gymnastics. Obviously my studio now is within a dance school. So I work within a dance school now. So I teach like ballet fitness and I teach bar as well.
Ah,
So yeah, I've always been quite sporty. I've always been doing something. I used to be, I know, because you did a few ski seasons as well, didn't you?
yeah, I've done
Yeah,
some
so
ski seasons, yeah.
I've done a few, I'm a qualified snowboarder instructor as well. So I did that when I was
Hell
younger too. I
yeah.
did 3 seasons back to back. So I did, Europe and New Zealand.
Oh my God, class. When we finally sort out this Strongwoman ski trip, then we'll have
Yeah,
to be on
I'm
board with it as
coming.
well. Yeah, 100%. It's getting
I'm
bigger all the
there.
time. Yeah, I'm well up for this. It's going to be so much
Yeah.
fun. There's so many of us as well now. When I first got into the sport, I haven't skied for ages, and I was like, I just don't really have any friends that ski anymore. Like, I do have friends, but like, they're all off doing their own thing and stuff. And I was like, I just need to find like a group of people that like still into a bit of skiing, snowboarding and that. And fucking hell, I found them in here. It's class.
Yeah, no, I love it. I went at Christmas and I'm going again at Easter. So,
Oh,
yeah.
jealous.
Yeah.
Jealous. That's awesome. Right. Well, should we have a little talk then about where you've just been, the Arnolds? Because I don't know much about the Arnolds, and I think it's because it's never really been on my radar massively. It's not a comp that I'm like, fuck, I really want to do this. So it's not always been in the forefront of my mind. But obviously, it was on last weekend. It looked like it was really, really cool. Obviously, the Arnold Classic with the women and the men was really cool to watch. But there's also the amateur side where you were competing. So do you want to tell us a little bit about that, how it was, what the events were and that sort of stuff?
Of course I can. So, one of the reasons that I like to do the Arnold's is because really it's been the biggest stage for the under 57 kilo class. It was the first like 57 kilo world championships. And I know that since then, like Natural Strong and other federations have picked it up, but it still is, I think, the best place to get good competition at my weight class. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so last weekend, so we were in Columbus in Ohio for 2 days. So they run the preliminaries on the Saturday where you have 4 events to do. So for us, the 4 events were, event number 1 was a max axle 13-inch deadlift.
Oh,
Event number 2 was a overhead medley. So it was a circus dumbbell into a log, circus dumbbell into a log.
yeah.
Then we had a frame carry there and back as quick as possible, 15 meters or about 50 meters by 50 meters, something like that. And then the final one was an arm over arm sled drag.
Yeah.
So that was day 1. Basically, the top 6 from each class then progressed through to the finals on day 2. And then on day 2, all the final events are then up on the big stage, which is really quite cool. So you've got
Nice.
thousands of people watching you, which is exciting. So the day 2 events that we had, the first one was the odd object load, which was we did a fire hydrant, Husafel sandbag or sandball. Then the second event was the ambulance tire axle clean and press for reps.
Nice.
And the final event was the duck walk into power stairs. So they were quite good events, actually.
Yeah, really cool
Yeah.
events.
Yeah. And it makes it like just the little things like, I don't know. The ambulance tires rather than your standard clean and press, just having the big tires and all that kind of stuff just makes it look so much more special.
Yeah,
So it was good.
100%. It looked awesome and came third as well, which is a fucking solid result in that.
I did. I'm really pleased. So last year I placed second and the year before that I placed third. So I really wanted to win this. I really did. But then I was kind of looking at the field and I try not to like do a bit of a snoop on Instagram, but inevitably I'm friends with the girls anyway. So their training pops up. So I'm like, oh gosh. And then all I had in my mind was, right, just get to day 2. If you can get to day 2, that will be enough. And I will be so happy with that. So to
Yeah.
get to day 2 and then to actually come third still, the 2 girls that beat me were so good.
Yeah.
They deserved, they were better than me. They were better than me. So I'm really proud of how I performed and how I delivered on the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you just can't be mad if you do everything that you said you're going to do, and you're doing what you want in the events, and you're like you're PBing or you're hitting the numbers that you expect to hit. Then you can't really be upset. It's still disappointing. I totally understand because it's the same for me. Like when we did Natty England's, like I 100% wanted to win that and came second, but like it was so well deserved by Jess Tate. Like I can't take that away from her. She was better than me on the day. Like it's just part of Strong Woman, isn't it? Of just like being able to deal with that. Like.
Yeah,
Bit shit, but
absolutely. it's completely part of competition. And to be honest, I try not to look at like the scoreboard or anything like that as we go through like day one. I just want to be like focused on, I've just got to do everything that I need to do and do the best that I can do. And if the best is good enough, then that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And if it's not, then it's not. And that's it, because I couldn't have done anything else because I did my best.
Yeah, 100%. I
So
love that. Yeah, that's class. And so how did you find the Arnold in general then? I imagine it's hectic because it's a busy expo, that, innit?
it is incredibly busy. And I know that there's probably been some backlash about the competition this year, because it was incredibly busy and there was lots of problems updating the scores and updating the scoreboards and keeping people just I guess up to date with just the stats, facts and figures. But I have to say, for me, in my experience, and that's probably because as a 57 athlete, you're always the first person out. For me, it was great still. I still had a great time and I had a great competition and I didn't have any of those problems.
Yeah.
Apart from, people saying how busy the warm-up area was. It was really busy, but I was always the first person to go out there and try and warm up my deadlifts. And then by the time I'm out there and everyone else is trying to warm up, I've moved on and I'm warming up my overheads next, and no one else needs that. So
Yeah.
I appreciate my experience is probably a little bit different. But I love it. I still love it. I think it's a great competition, and I would recommend anyone who qualifies and gets the opportunity to go, because there's so much going on. Like, you
Yeah.
get to watch the powerlifting, you get to watch the weightlifting. There's the grip competition. There's all these displays like martial arts, and I don't know. There's just it is, and you get so much for free as well.
Yeah, I've seen this. The hauls that people get are insane. It looks
Oh
like
my
so
gosh.
much fun.
It is, yeah. And in a way, I know it's silly, but in a way, because I compete on 2 days, I almost need another day just to go around and
Yeah.
actually do all the stuff that I potentially don't get to see because I'm actually competing. So, but
Yeah.
apparently next year they're going to 4 days rather than just having 3. So that should hopefully give us the opportunity to go and have a really good nose around as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because I'm guessing, it was the Friday, Saturday, Sunday then? So you'll have weighed in on the Friday, did you? And then obviously compete the Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, so actually there were some events on Thursday as well. So I actually traveled with my teammate, Rebecca, I'm going to say this wrong, Pavlikovich Peacock. So some of
Yeah.
you will know Reb because she's also a lightweight strong woman, but she was competing in the American weightlifting competition out there. So she actually lifted on the Thursday. So we went over there, watched her on the Thursday. Then we weighed in on the Friday morning, and then we all competed Saturday, finals on Sunday, and then we flew home on Monday.
Oh,
It's like bish bash
God.
bosh.
Oh, my God. I bet that was so hard to get on that plane on Monday.
Just getting back, we flew out Monday afternoon and then got back Tuesday morning, and Tuesday evening I was back in the studio here teaching, and I didn't know my ass from my elbow.
Oh,
I just was
God.
I mean, I'm still a bit of a zombie now, but it was so bad. So
That
bad. But it's nearly the weekend. It's going to be fine.
I bet you're working on the weekend as well, you.
I
You're
am.
like,
I'm working Saturday and Sunday. Got
oh,
strongman coaching tomorrow, and then
of
in the
course
studio
you are.
Saturday and Sunday. Yeah.
Of course you are, yeah. Like, oh, just wait for the weekend. It'll be nice and quiet. Oh, hang on a minute. No, still working. It's
Yeah,
fine.
and my daughter's got swim class Saturday and Sunday as well, so I've got that going on.
Oh my God, me. When
Hey,
do you sleep? When do you sleep? Like 3 hours a night?
something like
That's
that. No, I like early to bed, early to rise. That's what I am.
That's
So there we go.
wild. Wild. Well, you've sort of sold me on the Arnold. I feel like I really need to go and experience it. I don't feel like I'm probably not at the level of competition I'd want to be at to compete there at the moment, because I feel like the weight classes there, it's called the amateur. It is so stacked, isn't it? Like, that
Well,
is probably
it's a pro-am actually. So all the American and Canadian weight class professionals compete.
oh
So it's different from over here. So you can be like the 2 girls that won and beat me in my class are both professional under 57 or under 64 kilo athletes in Canada.
right.
So,
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really know how it all works out there, but they both got their pro cards.
Yeah. I've never
So
really understood the whole pro card thing for America,
I
but
don't either.
I
But
feel
no, it was good. And do you know what? There was lots of British athletes out there this year as well. There was more this year than I think last year, and hopefully there'll be even more again next year. So it felt like there was a little gang going on. It felt nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
did
good.
it did look so cool. I can't believe how many people fly out. How expensive is it? Is it expensive to go out there?
Um, I'm gonna say yes and no at the same time. As if you podium, you get paid. So,
Oh,
ooh.
nice.
So for the last 2 years, I've covered some of my or most of my costs through my achievement in the competition. And
Yeah.
then actually, I'm hoping that this year, because we flew out from Heathrow and our flight was delayed. We missed our connection in New York to get to Ohio, which I should be on the cards for getting a bit of a flight refund there.
Hell
But
yeah.
then last year, this is the best story. Last year when we flew out, our plane caught on fire. I
What?
know it sounds terrible. We were fine, but we literally took off from Heathrow, flying out. Within an hour, they had like something was going on, and I don't know, something was happening. And anyway, then the captain comes on, and he's like, "Oh, some of you will know or will have noticed that we've just had a fire on our right engine, and we've had to fly out into the Atlantic. We've jettisoned off all our fuel, and now we're going back to Heathrow."
Oh my
I
god.
know, scary, right? And all I could think of in my mind is, "What do you mean? I've got a world championship to win. I can't do this. I can't go back to Heathrow." Um, so anyway, and it was a proper like, you have to land on like some random runway, and the fire engines are there just in case something goes wrong.
Oh my
Anyway,
god.
but because of that, obviously last year we got all our money for our flights back in compensation, so we covered the entire trip.
Hell yeah. I
Not
mean,
suggesting that if you want to go to America that your plane wants to catch on fire, but
no, yeah. It
so
feels like
far the last few years it's been quite cost effective.
yeah, yeah, it sounds it. Slightly scary, a bit terrifying and
Scary, but cost
life-threatening, but
effective.
yeah,
But
fair
yeah, you
enough.
do need to save. So I would say, yeah, you do need to put a bit of money away. Because obviously, when you're out there as well, you want to have a great experience. You want to go and, do your shopping and go to some great places to eat and things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. What I don't really
yeah.
know what else is in, Columbus, Ohio, though. Is there much to do?
Do you know what? It's a really lovely high street, and there are
Mm,
some really like lovely like places just to go and eat and just to walk around. I think just being in like America, being somewhere different. Like I'm someone who loves to walk around and just look at architecture and like look at all the murals they have on all the buildings and just look at all the old style of the different houses. I could walk around that kind of place. But what we do on Thursday, basically, before making weight on Friday, that seems to be all Leanne and I do is just walk and walk and walk and walk and walk.
yeah,
So there we go.
yeah. Amazing. And how do you find making weight when you've flown as well? Because I know that's an issue for some people for like holding on to weight and stuff. Do you manage it, or are you like you got special tricks and tips?
I don't need any special tricks and tips because I don't sit above weight.
Oh, nice and easy for you then.
So yeah, so
Perfect.
when I flew out, I was already sitting under 57 kilos, and typically I sit between about 56 and a half and 57 and a half.
Oh,
So yeah,
perfect.
so I'm lucky, I suppose. I've worked at it, but yeah, I don't have that horrible cut. So when I weighed in on Friday morning, I'd already had breakfast.
Cushy. Yeah, that's a
Bitch.
great start. I love that. No, to be
So not
fair,
much breakfast, but just a little coffee and just a little snack. Just, just to
yeah.
tie me over.
I swear to God, it does make you feel elite though when you get to that point. Because I've got to it now where I'm like, I sit about 82, 83. Like the comp that I just did in Rome, they weighed me in at 81 kilos. I had been out on the session the night before though, and I'd been a bit sick in the morning. I'd been fragile in the morning. So
You
I
did
was,
the bicep competition.
yeah, I did, yeah. Yeah.
What was that
It was
like? Was it good?
it was hilarious. It was absolutely class. It was just so funny. There was so many cool people there, and yeah, we had a right laugh. It was like one of them. I wouldn't go. I say I wouldn't go back. I would go and do that competition again. I wouldn't go to Rome again though. Rome wasn't my
Okay.
favorite place, but
Yeah.
that's probably more because of the way I look and the way that the Italians deal with people the way that I look, which is not very nicely. So like
Okay.
that sort of made it not great.
Put you off.
But that being said, like the competition and while we were in that venue was absolutely sound. Like they were so nice. It was really good crack. Like we had loads of fun. It was hilarious. And you just bicep curling for 3 minutes while people screamed at you. Like hilarious.
I
It was
love
just
that.
so
I would
fun.
love that.
So
So I
yeah.
find that's what I've started doing now is really looking at where all the various competitions are around the world, and then kind of working out my competition calendar based on where I'd quite like to go for a few days, which I know
Yeah.
is a lovely thing to do. Um, but yeah, so if you hear of any other kind of competitions like that, which are in cool places, let me know. I'll tag along.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I will. See, this is what I've started to do now. Like, and there's certain things that I want to do, like certain pathways and stuff. But I think like, I really enjoy comps. I really enjoy comps, and I enjoy them when it's the experience. It's not just like I'm going for a specific, like, I need to win or I need to do well at
Yeah.
this competition. That sort of, I don't enjoy those ones as much. So this year I've just gone, I'm just doing the ones I'm gonna like have fun with, like the ones that
Yeah.
are gonna be an experience. I'm gonna get to do something different or go somewhere new. Like, it's so much more fun, isn't it? And like, that's the whole
Yeah,
point of
it
the
is.
sport.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel incredibly privileged that it's given me the opportunity it has to travel. Like, so yeah, I've
Yeah.
been to Columbus 3 times. I was in Vegas in September at the end of last year. Like, yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah, I fucking love it. No, well, that moves us on perfectly then to our first actual question of the podcast, which is, what has been your strong woman high, Hannah?
So I've been thinking about this. So I've got a few. Um, so my first one has got to be winning Natural Strong Worlds in 2024 because it just wasn't. Yes, I knew I was going to be competitive and I could probably push the top girls, but I really didn't think that I was capable of winning. If I'm honest, um, one thing I am as a strong woman is I'm not very good at anything, but I'm good at everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
consistent.
I'm never really gonna be the best deadlifter or the best at overheads or the best at anything, but I will consistently come second or third across the board. And I think that competition really just proved to me that actually you are really good at what you do and you really do deserve to be here.
Yeah.
Um, I have a bit of a thing, obviously, because I am slightly older. I'm 47,
Oh my God.
which is yeah, I know, which I as and I really feel that at my age now, I shouldn't be as competitive as I am still. I feel that there should be, the girls who are younger than me should be coming through and should be really, you know, coming up and driving me. And I've said I'm going to do this for as long as I can be competitive. And for that then, so I was 46 when I won, I think, and I was just like, wow, okay, I'm still competitive. I can still do this, and I'm still at a really good level. So
Hell
that's probably
yeah.
my one of my highs.
That's
So I've
class.
got a
That.
few other ones.
We'll get into
Um,
them because I want to I want to talk about this one a little bit because I think as well you selling yourself short there by saying you shouldn't be that competitive at 47 is insane because I'm a big believer. I think the way that the Masters is now, the under 40s and the under 50s is insane. Like the over
yeah,
40s, over 50s is insane. Like, and it sort of shows that like it's not like it's not the end. Like, you don't get to like 40 or 50 and that's it. Like these are the most competitive classes now, I think. And I think that is awesome to see. And it sort of proves that like, if you just stick with it and you just stay just training, like there's no end point. Like we can just keep going. There's going to be an
no,
over 60 soon. And like, that's going to
yeah,
be fucking class.
yeah. Yeah, well, we were joking and we were saying about, well, I'll come back and do the Arnolds next year, and then the year after, I'll probably have to do the over 50s.
Yeah. Well, like,
That's terrible to think like that. Like, gosh.
but it's
But
class,
yeah, I would.
isn't it? It's class that like
No, it
strong
is.
woman
It's really
has
good.
that like pathway where like in a
Yeah.
lot of other sports, like you get to like 35 and they're like, oh, you're too old to do this competitively now. Strong woman, it's like, nah, mate, you're at the beginning. Like
Yeah.
this is the
No.
start. Let's go.
Yeah. No, it is. And I suppose I'm lucky as well that the other sports I do, so I do still weightlift a bit and powerlift, but they have weight classes and age classes. So as
Mm,
a powerlifter, I compete as a under 57 M1, which is between the age bracket 40 and 50. And then as a weightlifter, I compete as an under 58 at the moment, changing soon. I compete in the 45 to 50-year-old age bracket. So it's very
yeah.
niche. Like I'm very much competing on the same level playing field. Whereas with strong women competing as a 57, it's much broader.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's awesome. That's so, and I think as well,
yeah,
like just what you said about being consistent in events is like so important in strongman. I think a lot of people forget this. It's all well and good being really good at like one or two events, but consistency is key. Like, and you've
yeah,
proved that.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Jack of all trades, master of none. That's what I say.
Hell yeah, I love that.
um,
Absolutely.
So next high, we talk about the community, the strong man or strong women community a lot. And I've met some of my best friends doing this. So the very first competition I did up in Peterborough Showground, which was run by Chaos, I met Leanne Kelly, who is also under 57 athlete, who we've been to America twice together. I met Reb as well there, who I met Kim Parrish there properly as well. And like these girls, they really have become like my proper little crew.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, that's definitely a high for me. So I've literally met some of my best friends through doing this sport, which is cool.
Yeah,
And I've got
absolutely agree.
2 other little real pinpoint moments. One of them was at the under 57 pro show Ash put alongside the under 50 and the 70 men's 70s world championships last year, loading that 90-kilo sandbag at the very end of the sandbag hell medley
Ye
to win was absolutely amazing. And it was against that, actually, that clip that Ash often shows, or I often play on my social media, is actually me beating Brianne, who then just won the Arnolds. So that's
Wow.
pretty cool. And then just this weekend, that fire hydrant load, where I
Oh,
got that fire hydrant on the top, and then I was
yeah.
just like, I thought I was going to have to like do a muscle up and like jump on the platform somehow, like stand to stand. And then I was like, oh yeah, run the power stairs, run around the back, up the stairs, load it, because it had to be standing vertically, back down the stairs and carry on. That was just, I love it. I just, yeah, special moment. And to be
Absolutely.
the
That's
first female athlete as well to get that load was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. That's such a cool video as well. And I love that as well, that
Thank you.
thinking on the fly of being like, you've got it up there and you're like, fuck, what do I do now? I'm going to run around the power stairs. Like,
I'm
that
running
is just
upstairs.
ultimate strongman vibes, that, isn't it? Of just being like, fuck it, I'm going to find a way, let's do it. But that video is
Yeah.
sick. And the 90-kilo
Thank
load
you.
as well was also sick. Like, I've seen
Thank
that
you.
video a few times and I fucking love it. Because it was like down to the last seconds as well, wasn't it? Like, it was so
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And like you can just see like Brianne had tried a few times and she hadn't quite got it. And I'm literally just there and I just look at her and I'm like, ding, over the top. So that's good.
Yeah, it's awesome that. So you're an absolute powerhouse with loading though, really, aren't you? For under 57 kilos, like loading anything but 80, 90 kilos is insane. And that Arnold's one as well was high, wasn't it? Was it like 40?
It's 48 inches.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so high. Like,
Yeah. So when, I think we joke about obviously 57s, we are quite petite and I'm just over 5'2" and I was the tallest. I'm often the tallest at
yeah.
5'2". I'm often the tallest athlete. So yeah, for some of these girls, it was literally like nearly head high. Like it's
Yeah,
crazy how you do it. So yeah,
absolutely
yeah, it's a
wild.
high load. It's a hard load, but you know,
Yeah.
you get it done. Train for it, you get it done. So
100%. Do you think you have something in competition that sort of switches with you, or is your training as heavy as like your competitions are? Are you training at competition weights, or do you just get that like adrenaline on the day to do that crazy shit?
so interestingly, with the odd object load in the Arnolds, they didn't release the weights. So you didn't know
Ooh,
what you were going for. There'd been a
yeah,
bit of like I suppose like chat or a bit of gossip. Oh, we're gonna have a keg, a sandbag, a keg, a sandbag, a fire hydrant. And then obviously on the day there was only 3.
yeah.
Um so I'd just basically been training similar to I've done last year in the Arnold's finals at the max keg load. And so I'd been training up to about 100 kilos. And so I was just like,
Great.
right, if we can kind of, what's it going to be? It's a world championships. It's not going to be that light. So if we just train like 60, 70, 80, 90, then we'll pretty much be okay. So yeah, so I have been, obviously I haven't been training with a fire hydrant. I've never picked a fire hydrant up before
Yeah.
until literally, because there wasn't even one in the warm up area.
Was it
They had some
not?
sandbags out, but you get out there and you're like, what do I do? How do I do this?
Fucking hell,
Obviously,
that's
I
it.
had the privilege of going 4th. So 3 girls had gone before me, they'd all zeroed it. And actually, Gina, who went just before me, was like, right, Hannah, if you can get it to your shoulder, I think you can like nudge it on. And so she had been really helpful at giving me that tip. So then, yeah, so then I managed to get that loaded. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that is insane. And how long have you actually been in the sport of strongwoman then? So in terms of like training strength, because these are the insane numbers, absolutely insane numbers. So how long has it taken to get to like this level?
So I did my first strong women competition in the summer of 22,
Not long
4
then.
years.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd
that's not.
always trained in the gym, remember? So I had like a good base strength and I'd always like taught strength based classes like body pump and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I didn't start, I would say, properly strength training until, yeah, probably around that time. So 2022.
That's
So
crazy.
4 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
insane. Absolutely crazy. What do you think your favorite competition's been that you've ever done?
Oh, what's been my favorite? Um,
Like, not so much in terms of
oh
winning or stuff,
gosh.
just like the vibes, the environment, like the setups. What's been like the one that you've come away from being like, fuck, I'd do that again in a heartbeat?
I mean, probably the first one, because obviously that's what like literally like hooked me in.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember what the events were. They were really like standard events, like like a 13-inch deadlift, log for reps, farmer's carry, sandbag to shoulder.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I'm trying to think whether I've done some really exciting and cool different events, but you know, when you think back and you think, well, it's all quite cool. It's all a bit quirky. It's all a bit
They've all
different.
been class, yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I think the odd object load, like doing the fire hydrant, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I like a yoke, so any competition that's got quite a heavy yoke in it is always going to be good for me. So yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, that's
So
amazing. I
I've got
love
one. Can I tell you one more high I've got as
Of
well?
course you
One more
can,
strong before we
yeah.
move on. So so this year, OSG did their first ever England under 57 class as well. They
Yeah.
did it as a bit of a trial, and I obviously I won that. So it feels really special to be the very first, not just the very first under 57 England OSG Strong Woman champion, but actually the very first ever under 57 kilo champion that they have in history.
Hell yeah.
So I hope that they will carry on. Like the girls at the Arnolds were asking about it and saying, "Oh, are they going to do it in America and are they going to do it in Canada now?" And I really hope they do, because I think, you know, we had 17 girls in the class at the Arnolds, and I know that the last like England's under 57s was really well supported in the natural scene as well. So I
Yeah.
think, you know, they need to look at it and be like, yeah, do you know what, there is the demand there, let's do it. Because I want to go,
Absolutely.
I want to do an OSG World Finals. That's going to be the, well, fingers
100%.
crossed.
Have you never done an OSG then? Have you not done OSG in the 64s? Just not done it?
No,
I
yeah,
like that.
no,
I like that.
yeah.
Sticking to the fucking weight class. You're like, nah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Bring my
Well,
weight class and I'll
I
do
mean, I
it.
could do. They did say that winning England's that I could take a place in the 64s at Europe or the 64 or or the lightweight masters, but it's not what I do. I just
Nah.
feel like, you know, I'm not saying I'm setting myself up to fail, because I could train really hard and everything else. But yeah, I want to, you know, 57s is my class. I want to support it.
100%. I think it's just loyalty to the class that as well. Because, like, realistically, you could do the 64s and be very competitive in the 64s. Like,
Yeah,
there's no way
hopefully.
you wouldn't be competitive in that. But, like, I like the loyalty to being like, nah, put a class in and I'll do it. Like, but I'm not doing
Yeah.
it without my class. Like, I think that's solid. I don't see how they can't do an under 57s at OSG this year. Like, I think it would be insane to
Well,
not do it.
so there is a 57s at Brits, which is coming up in May, which actually I'm really sorry I'm not actually doing, because it clashes with the British Weightlifting Championships, and I really want to do that as well. So I've just got to wait and
Yeah.
see. Okay, you know when you can't do everything, so you
Yeah.
can't train for everything, and I haven't had an invite yet, and I don't know whether I'll get one, but it's like I've done that one. Now I want to do something else, and then I'll do something else, and then yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm saying all that
absolutely.
we need to support it, and then I'm actually not doing it. But I feel I've done my bit by by doing England's and winning England's. There we
Yeah,
go.
you've definitely done your bit.
I've done a
I think you're all right. Yeah, I think you're all right.
bit.
I do agree though. There's just so many comps and pathways now. You can't do them all, can
Can't
you?
keep up.
Kill you
No.
off. Like I was going to do the OSG pathway and the natural strongman pathway, and I did both England's, and now I'm like, there's no fucking way. I'm not doing both of these this year. Like, there's just no chance. I don't have enough money for one because it's so
Mm,
ridiculously expensive, but also like I can't go back to back comps and train like that. I'll die. Like it's not doable anymore. So you've got to be picky, haven't you? Sometimes you've got to be a bit like, nah, we'll
yeah.
see. Like pick the ones that
Yeah.
you really want to do.
Yeah. Because otherwise, I just find it's like prep into prep into prep, and you've got no actual blocks of actual real like strength training in there to actually try and get stronger, because it's just events, events, events. And yeah, I don't want that. I need to not get bored as well. I need to mix it up a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm the same. I totally agree with that. Right. Well, let's move on and ruin some good vibes, shall we? And
Yeah.
talk about
Sorry.
your no, not at all.
Oh,
I liked your highs.
strong
They were
woman
very good.
lows.
Yeah, let's
Thank
go to the
you.
strong woman lows. Let's see what they
My
are.
strong woman lows. Okay. So my strong woman lows is one of my refereeing. I've had some really bad and disappointing experiences with just generally poor refereeing, and not saying it's unfair, but just, yeah. So I'm going to talk a little bit about an experience that I had at UK's last year, where I had a log rep disallowed. And I I appealed. I appealed against the log rep because I thought it was unfair because you can clearly see in the video that the judge does this, not this. And then he was like, "Oh, I didn't bring my whole arm down, but you moved your hand." So
Yeah.
like, "Oh, but I said I'd bring my whole arm down." Yeah, but you still had downward movement. I'm sure that, and you can clearly see that I get the rep. I'm stable. He moves his hand, I put the log down, and then he goes, "No, no, rep." So the
Yeah.
referee I had was someone who'd stepped in to referee my lane so that the referee that was there previously could take a little comfort break.
Yeah.
So then when I went to appeal against that decision, against the no rep, I was basically appealing to my referee.
Mm,
Not fair.
yeah.
And I was like, get the guy who was in the loo at the time, who should have been refereeing me, to hear my appeal. No. Okay, can we get someone else who's involved in this competition to hear it? No. And that cost me the competition. I came second. And I came second because that log rep was disallowed.
Yeah.
And for me, that's just like, if you're going to run a national level and a professional competition, then you need to be a professional outfit. And for me, that just wasn't the right way to deal with it. And it
Yeah.
really left me with like a sour taste in my mouth. Consequently, I didn't do natural worlds last year. I opted to take the weightlifting path because I qualified for worlds there as well, and weightlifting instead of doing strongman.
Yeah.
I will give them some dues in that they have put in an appeals process now, and I know that Matty says it's off the back of what happened to me. If I'm going to talk about their podcast, I know you were on your podcast, but they
Yeah.
talk about it in one of their recent podcasts about how they've brought in the appeals process, and how was it Hope was like doing that, the
Yeah.
judging. I wasn't at England's Naturals, but and that was kind of her full responsibility at that competition. So I appreciate what they've put in place since, and I appreciate that the apologies that I got afterwards and everything like that. But at the time, that wasn't right.
It sucks.
And I think
Yeah.
you can still look back at any competition and be like, that wasn't right.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. And I think I agree with you. They have put the appeals process in place, and I think that was needed. And I think that's one good thing about natural strongman is that they learn from stuff, they take stuff on
Yeah.
board, and they then go forward and change that to make it better for the athlete, so that type of stuff doesn't happen again, because it is fucking shit. Like, and it's so hard as well to argue with refs. And like, you'll know as well. I mean, you've refed competitions and you know how
Yeah.
shit it is being a ref.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard work
Yeah.
in it, and when you
Yes,
get
it is.
something wrong, it's then hard to be like, oh, haven't I, like, and I can't remember fucking 30 seconds ago most of the time. So like, I'm not gonna, if someone comes to me afterwards and is like, oh, you've done this on this rep, I'll be like, I can't remember that, mate. Like, I hope you've got a video, because otherwise, like,
Yeah.
couldn't
You've
tell
got
you.
no.
So
Yeah.
it's
So I've
difficult
had
because
an experience as well where I've been refereeing for a local competition to me. And obviously, as the referee, I'm in charge. What I say should go. And then the MC who is hosting the competition, the competition promoter is MCing, has then overruled me as the referee. I mean, how's that fair? Like, hang on a
yeah,
second. I've just done the same thing for 12 other people. You get to the next one and then you're overruling my decision. Like, that can't happen. Like,
yeah,
seriously, just get with the program. Like,
it's
you've got to
so
be just and
difficult,
you've got to
isn't
be
it?
fair. And
Yeah,
that's, yeah, it is really hard. But I do believe that, like, with the referee, the referee's decision is final. There should be that appeals process afterwards. But yeah, refereeing is a real bugbear of mine. And I know that is it Paul Smith's company, the Air Education or Strongman Education, but they've got a referee's course
yeah.
which they're running, which I'm doing, just
Oh,
not the
nice.
one in Manchester, when they bring one closer, because I really believe that that is the way forward. And if we can get some kind of consistency across the board, I think that's
Yeah.
great.
I totally agree. I think it's just making the sport more professional overall. And I think like that one, I know Jenny's just done the course with Paul, and she said it was
Yeah,
brilliant, like, and really thoroughly enjoyed it, and said like it was just nice to be in an environment where people are starting to take the sport like properly seriously, and not
seriously.
not just being like, ah, well, it'll be all right, like, is what it is. Like, it's like, no. we need to have stuff in place. We need people to have
Yeah.
actual training instead of just some random dude from the car park who's going to now ref the comp. Like, doesn't it just it the sport needs more than that if we want to be taken more seriously. So like the fact that people are doing it and stuff is changing, I think it's really cool to see, but it still makes the stuff that happened before shit and annoying.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, so it was basically shit and annoying, yeah. But there you go. That's my there's my low. That's my low, refereeing.
That's a to be fair, that's a pretty good that's a good low. It's not a terrible low, but I would agree with you. I've had a few. I can't really think of any like bad reffing decisions that I've had, but I think because I can't be bothered most of the time. If something doesn't go my way, I'm just like, oh fuck off, like I'm going to
Yeah,
ignore this now.
yeah.
I
I
can't be
had it. I
asked.
mean, I had it at the Arnold's a little bit because when I first event, max deadlift, went out to take my first event. They're doing a rising bar. So they call me, I step out, I take my deadlift. You go over, you tell the next person, yeah, what's my next weight going to be? And they're like, well, my next weight's going to be this. And they're like, well, do you not want to do the one in between? I was like, no, that's what I just did. And they got my opener wrong.
Oh God. Oh my
Thankfully, they
God.
were like, that's fine. You could take a fourth lift. So I was like, okay, that's okay. I appreciate that. Good. You got it wrong. Admit you got it wrong. Get it right.
Yeah,
So
perfect. That's the
yeah,
thing. You don't mind it when stuff changes or when they can fix it for you to still keep it fair on the fly. But
yeah,
like, and I think that's one good thing that Natural Strongman are doing is that they are good. I actually did have I went to the appeals desk with Hope on for Natural England's, which like and I Hope's job that entire comp was so fucking her and Eileen were just going mental, like doing all them scores and then also doing the appeals as well and everything
yeah,
else in between. I felt so bad for him. But I'd check the score sheets afterwards because I was a bit like, I knew I needed to claw my way back to like, at one point I thought I wasn't even going to get podium at England. So I was shitting myself like, oh no. And I'd finished the farmers and I think Pandora had, Pandora was on the list as beating me in the farmers, and my friend Joe, who'd been watching, had texted me and said, "Your scores are wrong. Like Panda didn't beat you. You need to go back down. You need to like tell them that it's wrong." And I was like, "Oh, like not that bothered. Like doesn't really make that much difference." And she's like, "No, it does. This is a podium place. Like it's gonna make a fucking difference.
yeah.
Get down there now." So she sent me the video, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, like I clearly did finish before it. Like there's obviously just been a mix up." And I went down and told Hope, and I felt awful. I was like, "I'm really sorry. Please can please can you just change my
Please, can you
score?"
change this?
I was like, "I've got a video. I promise. I'm not just being a dickhead." And she was like, "Sound about it." And they changed it, and it was all good. And it was so much easier. And I think as well the fact that it's someone separate. It's not your ref. It's not the person who's actually timing you that
Yeah,
you have to go and then ask. Like it's not as uncomfortable. It's easier to go and do because it's an independent person who's like,
yeah,
"Oh yeah, I can see your video. That's fine. Like no problems at all." And I think having that appeals process in place this year is going to make a huge difference to their comps.
yeah. I think it will.
Definitely.
I think it's a great move. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I'm impressed with Natural Strongman at the moment for how they're pushing the sport
how they've
forward.
done
It's
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Yeah. Right. Well, let's move on then to the final question of the strong woman part. So, what would you say to yourself when you first started the sport?
What would I say to myself? I would say, like, people talk about like strongman being like a hobby, and don't take it too seriously because it is a hobby and it's not the end of the world and all of this. But actually, I think I would tell myself to take it as seriously as you want to take it. I
I
like
like that.
yeah, because I do take it quite seriously and I do train hard and I tick off every single box on my programming and I watch my nutrition and I do, watch my recovery and I sleep well. And I think that's okay to be, I'm going to say obsessed, but it is okay to be like that and to be as involved and obsessed perhaps as I am in it, even though it's just a hobby. And sometimes I need to
100%.
remind myself of that actually it's okay to take things like this seriously because if you want to do well and you want to be taken seriously, you've got to take it seriously.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing that, I think so many people are often like, oh, it doesn't really matter. It's just a hobby. It's just a bit of fun. It's just you training at the gym. Yeah, it is. But it's so much more than that as well. And that is okay.
Yeah.
That is probably the advice that I would remind myself. Yeah, constantly that it's
Yeah.
okay to be serious about it.
I like that, and I do think it's important because so that's not my viewpoint. Like I don't agree with that, but that's for me personally because I can't take this that seriously because I hate it. Then I go past the point. Like if I start to really dial in, like I remember Worlds 2023, I fucking hated that prep. I didn't really enjoy the comp. I won it, and I was still like, I wouldn't even put it in my top 3 comps I've ever done, and that was probably the best one I've ever won, hands down. And it wasn't because the comp was bad. It wasn't because like the people were bad or the events were bad. It's just because personally for me, I put so much pressure on myself. I couldn't enjoy myself. Like I really couldn't enjoy it. And I think that's so interesting because it's just different personality types. Like I do have to remind myself all the time that it's a hobby and it's just an extra part.
Yeah.
And I get a lot out of it. I'd absolutely get a lot out of it. And I've built a business in this sport. Like I absolutely love it. But as an athlete, my head's not in the right place to be able to focus and obsess over my performance as an athlete. However, that being said, I think that's fucking awesome. That is like the way that you can do it, and that like an obsession of the sport can really push you forward as an
obsession.
athlete.
Not an obsession. Just a reminder that it's okay to take it seriously. Yeah, because people will, people take the mickey, don't they? Oh, you do strongman, whatever else. Like, actually, no, this is quite like I do this to a decent level. Like, I'm not just mucking around. Like I'm pretty good at this. Like
100%,
and it's okay to want to do well. I think more than anything, I think it's okay to want to do well.
Yeah.
I think that's probably better way to describe it. That it's okay to want to do well, and it's okay to want to compete, and it's okay to want to win. Like that is what I would kind of say to myself, that
100%, and it's okay to take it seriously. Yeah, it's okay to take it seriously.
You can do whatever you want.
Exactly. Well, this is the beauty of the sport, isn't it? That's the beauty of the sport, and I think hearing both of those perspectives is super important as well. And that's why I love this podcast, because like you get different people's opinions on stuff like that. Like, because I know we've discussed like quite a lot of times in this sport, like on the podcast, being like not taking it as seriously and having other stuff outside of it. And I think it's refreshing to be like, no, actually, you can take it fucking seriously, like proper, like let's go for it. And I think that's really cool. I would love to be like that, but I'm just not.
I mean, well, everyone's different, and it wouldn't be the world we live in if everyone was the same, would it? So.
Absolutely. And I guess as well, like for you, with being so busy and having so many other things going on as well, it's quite nice that when you're in this sport, you can just dial in and have this one focus at that one moment in time, like when you're training or when you're at a competition. Like that's quite a nice feeling, is just to focus on one thing when the rest of your life is like mad.
Chaotic. Yeah. I mean, I do still love it, and I still do enjoy it, and it's not like it's just serious and I get head down and everything like that. Like I have a great laugh when I'm in the gym, but it's just, it's okay to want to do well.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's interesting as well, because it sort of relates back to the point that we were saying about the Arnolds, where you were like, I'm a little disappointed about third, but like it was like, I understand why I've come third. And I think that's the same. Like you can want to do really well, and you can want to do well in competitions, and you can still be disappointed if you don't get the result that you wanted, but you can still be happy for those other people.
Absolutely. Because then I think like, I am a little disappointed that I didn't do better, but I understand why they won, because they were better. But I still came third in the world. I still came third at the Arnolds. Like that is damn good. Like that is really good. Yeah. So there we go. I just need to, you need that little bit of a reminder that sometimes
but sometimes you don't know. Like this is what I'm saying. Like you do. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you can just be like. I remember when I finished England's, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm fucking disappointed in this." And I remember my mates being like, "You can't be disappointed in that. Second in England, like you can't be." And I was like, "I can be. I can still be happy about it, but I can still be disappointed. Like you can be two things at once."
You can, absolutely. Yeah.
Moral of the story. Well, I like that. That one was off piste from where we usually go, but I like that on the podcast. We like some different opinions and some different viewpoints on here. That was class. Thank you very much for that, Hannah.
You're welcome.
Right. Well, let's move on and take it away from the serious bit to the silly bit. Let's move on to our silly goose section.
Silly goose. It's silly goose time, where our lips get loose and our minds run free. Silly goose. It's Silly Goose time, where we chat a load of shit that's of absolutely no use. It's Silly Goose time.
So, do you have a silly goose you'd like to bring to the table?
Maybe a little bit. I had to get some help with this, actually. So I am crediting Kim Parrish with a little bit of I've kind of adjusted her question maybe slightly, because I've just adjusted it, so I'm not going to go to details. But basically, the question is, if you could pause time at any point in your life so far, where would you pause time, and what would you change, or what would you do to the situation around you to make it different? Is that enough of a silly goose?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, that. Oh, my
Okay.
God. I feel like I'm
Kim's was actually, think about a point where you've farted in the past, and then what would you pause time then, and what would you do? I was like, well, I can't remember. I fart all the time, so I can't remember that. So we'll just go for a significant point in your life that you would pause time at, and what would you change?
Oh, God. There's so many things. It's like
Or would you change something to make the situation incredibly amusing, or I don't know.
I'm trying to think of like the things that I regret doing. How would I go back and stop them from
think
happening?
About let's do it in a strongman situation. So think about a time where you've been in a situation, or a situation in strongman, that you'd be like, right, I'm going to pause time there, and I'm going to do this, and then see what happens. I don't know.
I'll tell you
so
exactly.
Like when Thor did his like massive like deadlift, like would you pause time just as he's about to do his pull his pants down, let him carry on doing his deadlift? He does his deadlift with his pants shorts around his ankles, like that kind of thing. I don't know.
Well, that would be hilarious. I wasn't thinking of that. I was thinking of it more personally to me, but I know exactly what fucking moment in time I would stop happening, which is when I did my deadlift with Jack Renison at fucking not my deadlift, my bicep with Jack Renison at Steel City, and I did a 95 kilo axle double, and it was fucking sick. It was so good. And Jack Renison went to me, you should do that 102. You should give it a go and try and put it over your head. And I went, yeah, fuck it. And I did it and popped my bicep off. So I would go back to that moment and I would stop it and I would go, that's a shit idea, Jack. Or I would just get rid of Jack. I would delete Jack out of that situation so he wasn't there, because I wouldn't have done it. So yeah.
And you'd be happy with your double at 95.
Absolutely, I fucking would. And both my biceps still attached. What would yours be? What would yours be?
I don't know. What would mine be? Well, I would probably go back to that log rep, actually, where I've got that log rep at the top. And and then the referee actually gives me the fall down signal, and then I get the rep. That would be what I would do. I'd pause time there. I would literally
push their arm down.
I'd run around, I'd push his arm down, I'd run back, I'd be there again, and they'd be like, good, got the rep, thank you very much.
That's fantastic. I fucking love that silly
something
goose
like
question.
that. Something like that.
That's such a good one.
What about outside of strongman? Would there be a situation that you would have changed one thing in your life outside of or just paused everything?
There's one specific, not a specific moment, but there's a few moments. So we used to do, this is a bit off piste, but we used to do eagle and vulture shows, me and my husband. We used to travel the country and let go of eagles and vultures at country shows and do a big display. And there was a few situations we went to where we let birds go, and the birds that we were flying were big birds, big eagles, big vultures, sometimes worth 10 grand or something, and you're letting it go in the middle of a park in fucking Wolverhampton or some shit, and hoping that it's going to come back to you. Yeah. And there was one, I think we did one in Aston Villa football stadium, and we went there and they were like, you're going to fly your birds. And we were a bit never flown them in a stadium. I'm not sure how this will go. It went fucking terrible. Everything wanted to fuck off. It was really stressful, really hard. So I think I would go back to that situation and go, is this worth the money?
No.
Nah, I think we should just not do this. Just stop time, drive the van back out, leave, not do it.
Have you ever lost any that haven't come back? Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah. So this, we had one. I mean, we lost them not regularly, but every now and then one would go off at a show. And most of the time, 99% of the time, you would find it. And to be fair, 99% of the time with any bird you lost, even if you lost it flying at home or on a site or whatever, you'd find out, you'd find it We'd find out what happened to it like a month or two later. But we did have a white-tailed seagull that we lost at our house. We were flying it one day. It just decided it was not having it, flew off. And then unfortunately, there was a big storm and a load of geese died because they'd hit power lines near our house. And this whitetail had found them and just started eating dead geese. And at that point there, didn't need us because it was feeding itself. So it was like, right, I'm off skis. Like, I don't need you. And every time we got near it, it would see us and just disappear into the skies. Like, which is like, and whitetails are whitetails are native to the UK. Like, you get them in Scotland. So like it wasn't the best, but it wasn't ideal. Like, it wasn't great time. So we were trying to get it back, and we chased it around for months and months and months. Eventually, it ended up at Fountains Abbey, which is actually quite far away from us. And it was flying around Fountains Abbey for a bit. And then all of a sudden, it just disappeared. And no one really knew what had happened to it. And we were a bit confused. But I think a gamekeeper shot it. But I can't confirm that. That could be. So this is, it's a bit off kilter for this podcast. But I think a gamekeeper shot it and just buried it. But yeah, we never found out what happened. Yeah, so they all had tracking devices on them, but that thing, it had a tracker on it, but after the first week, the battery in the tracker died. So then it was just untrackable at that point, which was a bit of a shame. So yeah, we never found out what happened to it, but we're skeptical. We sort of know, but it's just one of them, like, you can't insure them. Like, it's nearly impossible to get insurance on them. Like, that bird was probably worth about like $5 or $6 grand at that point in time. And like, it was just a very stressful moment of our lives. That's for sure. Like, it was about 2 months of just pure, utter stress about trying to find this bird. But
find them,
yeah. So if I could go back to a moment in time and stop that, I'd have stopped that day and not let it go. That's for fucking sure. Yeah. And that would be another one that I'd go back and change. All my most stressful times of my life have to do with birds. But what would your real life one be?
Okay, so my real life, this is going to sound really soppy, I'm going to say, but I've got 2 children, and obviously life was incredibly busy. So I think I can remember kind of after Jack was born, he's my youngest, just being in hospital, just holding him, and I just like time to stop, and just to have like that moment of just like nothing else matters, no one else matters, because as soon as that moment's over, that you're then back to being mum to him and someone else, and like life is just busy and everything else. So I think just to pause that little moment there would be it's very cute, isn't it?
That's a cute
but it's those like dream
one.
moments where you've just like, okay, it's just me and you, and the rest of the world doesn't matter, because I know as soon as this moment is over, that's it. So I would pause that little time there. Not that he's a favourite. I love my daughter just as much. but it's that whole like, once you're out, then it's like, okay, now I've also got a toddler and everything else. So yeah, that would be a moment that I'd love to go back to and just take a little bit more time.
100%.
Pause, stop. Yeah.
I love that. I do this in my day-to-day life. Do you do it where you have moments in time where you're like, everything is just so good and so nice, and I love everything that's happening right now, and I want to remember this for the rest of my life? And like the thought process will go through my head, and I'll just sit there for a minute being like, this is all good. Like, I've got loads of little flashes of like bits of time in your life. Like, I think it's a good little trick to have, isn't it, up your sleeve, when something just goes really well and you just sat there and you're thinking, I'll remember this forever. This is mint. This. Yeah.
Yeah. Harness that feeling of how you feel and what's going on at that time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I love that. What a great way to end this podcast. I'm not even going to do my silly goose. I'm going to save it for another day, because mine was shit compared to yours. So yeah.
Thanks, Kim.
That was a fantastic silly goose. I absolutely loved that one. Really good, really weird, really funny. Like, we got the best of everything out of that one. So where can people find you if they want to follow you along your journey? And do you have anything to plug or anything to shout out before we end the podcast?
So if you want to follow me, you can probably best find me on Instagram. It is Hannah _Fitzgerald _fitness. If anyone wants any coaching as a strongman, strongwoman, weightlifter, powerlifter, you can get in touch. And if anyone is into reformer Pilates, you can come and visit my lovely new studio. There we go, little viewing there, based in Cambridgeshire.
Hell yeah.
Over. Thank you.
Absolutely love that. No, we'll put everything down in the show notes below. So if you want to go and follow it along, or if you're in Cambridge and you want to go and visit the former Pilates studio, then you can. So thank you very much for being on the podcast, Hannah. This has been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on. It's awesome.
No problem at all. It's been class. Right. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and we will see you all on the next one. Goodbye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Strong Woman Highs, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to support the podcast, then please give us a follow on Instagram. Or if you would like, we're also on buymeacoffee.com/strongwomanhighs. This is where you can send us tips, or you can also join our membership area, which is $5 a month or £4 a month. It's the silly gosling level. We'll post out any extra content that we get on there, and hopefully a few little free giveaways of things as well. The podcast currently doesn't cost a lot to run, which is what we're trying to keep it as, but we would like to be able to cover our costs, and also once those costs are covered, any profit that is made on Strong Woman Highs will be getting saved up and put into a pot for future Strong Woman competitions that we can sponsor. So if you have a Strong Woman competition that you'd like to be sponsored, or if you want to be on the podcast, then give us a shout, send me a message on Instagram or on YouTube, anywhere else you can get us, and we'll get it sorted, because the more women that we can get on, the better. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye!